Hey there, this is Dr. Evan Osar with the Integrative Movement Institute. Thank you so much for joining me today on Facebook Live. Today we're discussing 3 things for you to help you get your week started out right. Number 1, I want to thank you guys for being part of our community. We truly appreciate you guys, all you do for your clients, for allowing us to be part of your journey, and sharing the information that we share with you with your clients. I just got a testimonial from, it wasn't even like a testimonial, it was just an email. What's up, buddy? My great best friend, Pete. Hi, Rahul, how are you? Aran, good to see you guys as always. I got an email from someone who's part of our 2 Anatomy Geeks module. And she shared an email, she had a question about a client, some client issues with neck and shoulder issues. However, she started out by saying, she's like, thank you so much for your 2 Anatomy Geeks series. I struggle learning anatomy, and you guys make it so easy to learn, which is what we do. Jill does a great job at really breaking down anatomy, showing you both in words, but more importantly, in pictures and on your own body, so you start to learn where these muscles are, but more importantly, what these muscles do and how they work together collectively to develop optimal posture and movement. And what happens in your clients from an anatomy standpoint that often causes chronic tightness, discomfort, and or an inability to perform at the level your client needs to and or wants to. So we're really proud of the 2 Anatomy Geeks series. Thank you for all of you that are part of that series. We just finished up part 3 of the 2 Anatomy Geeks covering the rotator cuff. You can get access to that entire 3-part series. It's about 6 hours, probably a little bit more, 6 hours of content, functional anatomy, so you really know where the muscles are, what they do, and we make it simple, we make it fun. Jill makes it really fun. I just give you the information, but Jill makes it really fun. There's lots of question and answer, there's lots of interaction, and then more importantly, we want you to be able to take this information and apply it to your clients. Because knowing information is awesome, but it's only information. Put it to use by applying it with yourself and your clients. That's how you start to learn it, own it, and then help transform lives, just like my client did when she emailed me saying, I was able to use this information that I'm learning with Anatomy Geeks, and I've helped 2 clients this week with chronic shoulder and neck issues just with 1 module of the 2 Anatomy Geeks. So Mary will put the link next to this video here so you can get access to that, and we'll get CECs for that later this year. We just had to finish the series and then we'll submit it, so we get CECs for that as well. Great information and great, I should say, practicality so that you can use the information right away with your clients. Now, part 2. Second thing I have for you is I'm presenting at the Idea Personal Training Institute virtual event this weekend. And I'm covering 2 specific areas, shoulder and hip, the ball and socket joints. Because so many of our clients, especially our older clients, they present with chronic issues in their hip and shoulder, and many of them have both issues. So one of the things that we look for many times in our industry is like, what exercises, Dr. Osa, show me the exercises. Show me how to help my client with chronic shoulder and or hip issues. And I can give you a bunch of exercises, but you don't need more exercises. Because if I asked you, how many exercises do you have for the shoulder? Could you list me 10 easy ones? Absolutely. Could you list me 20 easy exercises for the shoulder? Absolutely. Could you name me 30? Probably yes. So you don't need me to give you more exercises. How about for the glutes? If I ask you, how do you strengthen the glutes? You could probably list 100 exercises to strengthen the glutes. But do you still have clients that struggle with chronic hip issues? So it can't be about your exercises. It cannot be about exercises alone. What do you need more of? I ask this at every single conference I present. What do you need more of as a fitness professional when you're working with older clients that have chronic hip and shoulder issues? You need, number 1, more appropriate knowledge and understanding of how these areas work and how they collectively work together. Number 2, you need to understand what's driving your client's issues, hip and shoulder issues. So let me give you an example. One of the things I'm going to share with you this weekend during that conference is how do you assess and what does your assessments tell you? Now, people will tell you that posture doesn't matter, and that is, you've heard me say, nonsense. Okay? Here's why. Because many of your older clients have a very specific condition, and that condition leads to a lot of their low back, neck, knee issues. So let's talk about how a very common posture, posterior pelvic tilts, And this increased thoracic kyphosis, how does that lead to chronic issues? Well, first of all, you've seen me do this before, but do it with me again, just so you understand. When you get real kyphotic and your rib cage goes behind your pelvis, you limit your range of motion. Just changing that alignment changes your range of motion. That's just a simple example. Now, more importantly, let's talk about the hips. When you're in this posture here, like many of your older clients are, why are they in this posture? Why are your clients in this posture? And it's not just about weak glutes. It can't just be about weak glutes, because lots of older clients are strengthening their glutes, and their glutes are getting stronger. They're not changing their posture. They're not changing how they're feeling. Okay? So why are most of your clients, your older clients, in this posture? There's one specific condition that causes this posture. If you're part of our community, you already know the answer. It's spinal stenosis. Why is that so important? Because stenosis means narrowing. If you narrow the spinal canal because of osteoarthritic changes or thickening of the ligaments, thickening of the fascia, thickening or development of fatty tissue inside the spinal canal, you will choose to be in this posture, this position, so that you create more space in your spinal canal. So that's why so many, almost all of your older clients are in this very characteristic posture. Posterior pelvic tilt, lumbar spine flexion, and increased thoracic kyphosis. Now, have your client do a forward bend. So have your client put their feet together and forward bend. And what do you end up seeing? You see this right here. Very little hip motion, a whole lot of upper back motion, and a whole lot of shoulder motion. Because think about this. If your client is stuck in this posture with the rib cage is behind their pelvis, they're sitting in this posture, they're standing in this posture, if you tell them to bring their shoulder blades back and their head back, they're going to fall backwards or at least lean further back, and now they can't reach forward, they can't get out here forward. So how do you do that? You do this. You start over-protracting your shoulders to get your shoulders forward. You over-protract your shoulders to get down to the floor. So the more you try to strengthen their retractors and their depressors, and you've heard me talk about why we don't do that with our clients, you're actually helping them, you're driving them further into that posture and that position, because they're using that position as a compensation. So what do? You address the issue that's driving the problem instead of addressing the compensation, which most of us have been taught to do. So what you do with the client that's here, you have to teach them how to better hip hinge to release their hips so that they can get forward without making it all come from their shoulders. That is how they get down to the floor. That is how they reach forward. That's how they get overhead, so they have better range of motion, better function, because that's ultimately what you're trying to train them for, and ultimately better ability to feel better, I should say, and do the things that they need to, want to, and ultimately love to do. So I'm going to be sharing strategies with you for how to assess your client so that you find out their suboptimal habits that are contributing to chronic tightness, discomfort, and or inability to perform at the level your client needs or wants. I'm going to share with you the best and most effective corrective exercise strategies using the principles of the integrative movement system, the ABCs: align, breathe, control. And I just did a post recently where I said the principles always work. Now, I don't say that they always create miraculous changes for your clients, or your clients always love them, or everybody's going to love you and flock to you because you teach them the principles. But the principles always work. Like gravity. There's never a time that gravity doesn't work, right? You drop something, it will always fall down unless something stops it from falling down. Okay? The principles, alignment, breathing control, always work when done appropriately. However, they don't always make miraculous results, like you hear some of you, like you've experienced with some of your clients, and you hear us share stories here as well. There's a lot of factors as to why they don't work, but the principles always work. I'll also share with you, how do you progress your client effectively? So how do you take a client that can't hip hinge, teach them how to hip hinge, and then also progress them so that they can actually lift up a box? I shared a story with you last week about my friend Jackie's client, who's a 60-something-year-old nurse. She had her roof cave in because pipes burst here down. You heard the stories about Texas. Her pipes burst, her ceiling fell on her bed, so she had to move all her stuff out of her bedroom into another part of the house. And she's like, I was carrying 40-pound boxes. And previous to working with you, Jackie, that carrying 40-pound boxes was impossible. And secondly, if I was able to do it, I would be in bed for a week or so with low back pain. And she's like, I was able to lift the boxes, and she started crying. Like, she was literally crying because of the damage, and she was like eating the same food and drinking bottled water for days. But she was so grateful for Jackie and Jason and their team of trainers at EFW Fitness here in Houston, Texas, that she came in to share that story with them. So again, I know you have stories just like that, which leads me to part 3. Actually, I'll put the idea, I'm presenting an idea up, I'll put the information down here as well for that. And you can save $20 using the code that we have for you. Finally, part 3. Many of you need more clients. We all need more clients, right? We need more people to share our expertise with. We want to transform our lives. You're doing this because you want to make a difference in more individuals' lives. Unfortunately, sometimes you attract the wrong individuals. Sometimes you know you can help clients, but they may choose to go to their local facility, their gym facility. Maybe they'll find some other online training. They'll go to the free training they can get everywhere online right now. So my friend Jackie's preparing for a presentation she's been invited to speak at Hewlett-Packard down here in Houston, Texas. And she's doing her presentation. And so I'm like, let me see what you're presenting. So she showed me her presentation, and I'm like, it's pretty much like the presentation like all of us have been taught to give. Here's who I am, here's my qualifications, here's how I can help you, and we're really great at what we do, and we can help you, we'll transform your lives, we'll help you get stronger. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Nobody listens to that stuff anymore because everybody's saying the exact same thing. So I'm like, okay, Jackie, here's what you gotta do. First of all, scrap that whole entire presentation. Let's start from scratch. Number 1, you lead with your best testimonial. You find someone, and again, you have tons of these individuals. She's got tons of these individuals that have sent you testimonials. Lead with your best testimonial. Don't brag about how great you are, all your certifications. Use your best testimonial. You get your client that loves you, loves everything you do with them. You've transformed their lives. Like, for example, on Facebook Live, just today, one of her clients posted, Jackie made me birthday cake, or early birthday cake for me, and her client Lillian posted, she's like, your birthday's March 6th? My birthday's March 6th. I'm going to be 84 years of age on March 6th. I'm in better shape today than I was 2.5 years ago when I first came to Jackie and Jason. My life has changed because of the work I've done with Jackie and Jason. That's the first testimonial that should go in your presentation. Because if you can change the life of an 84-year-old and she's in better shape today than she was 2.5 years ago before she came to you, that's what you want to lead your presentation with. Because you've gotten everybody's information. I should say, let me rephrase that. You've got everybody's attention because, like, 84 years of age, she's in better shape today than she was 2 years ago. I'm only 55. I could literally be in better shape in 2 years from now than I am today. That's a fantastic story. So lead with your best story. Then go briefly into who you are, but more importantly, what are you going to share with them in this presentation that's going to help transform their health? And then go into how you do it. Okay? Give them an example. So she's going to show them a very simple range of motion. She's coming through our Integrative Movement Special Certification Program. So Jackie will show them a little bit of what we're sharing, what she's learning in the Integrative Movement Special Certification. She'll show them a range of motion. She'll show them how the aligned breathing control can change their range of motion right now. Not 2 weeks from now, not 2 years from now, not 2 decades from now. But right now you can create changes in posture, range of motion with the client. All of a sudden now you've got buy-in. Whoa! My range of motion was here. Now I've done some aligned breathing control, and now my range of motion is here, all virtually. That's amazing. How do I learn more? Then you finish with another powerful testimonial. Invite them to come and work with you, and also put a caveat on it. Tell them you are not for everyone, because you're not for everyone. I was just talking to a Pilates instructor that I was working with down here, and she's like most of us, right? She is amazing at what she does. Amazing, beautiful woman, amazing at what she does, and she undercharges for her services. Probably like many of us. I used to charge $45 to go to people's houses. That doesn't happen anymore because I didn't value who I was and what I was offering. That does not happen anymore. I charge way more than that, and nobody can even pay me enough to go to their house anymore, except for one person. So charge what you're worth. So finish up with an invitation to come work with you. And there's a great concept called future cast. So I said to her, when you conclude, say these words exactly. I didn't make these up. I learned them from one of my mentors. So you say to your client, when you decide, when you make the choice to work with us, here's what's going to happen. You're going to come in, we're going to do a full evaluation, we're going to do a full medical history, we're going to find out where you struggle the most and where you need to improve, but more importantly, what your goals are. You need to reword that a little bit, but that's the general gist. What's going on? What can't you do? What do you want to do? And then we're going to create an individualized plan to help you get there, so that by the end of whatever, 6 months, a year, whatever it may be, you're going to be able to go on that vacation and hike up that mountain. You're going to be able to get down on the floor and pick up your grandchildren. You're going to be able to jump on your bike just like you did 20 years ago. So you future cast, because in their head they're like, oh, when I work with you, I didn't even know I made the decision, but you've already planted that seed in their head. Now you're way different than any other trainer, fitness professional that they can find online or anyone that they've listened to, because you've talked to them about, you've used your clients to educate them and empower them. You've talked about them and their goals, not about you and your credibility. And finally, you've given them an invitation and you've made it exclusive. You're like, I'm only taking 5 people because I'm not for everybody. And I only have room for 5 people that truly want to transform their lives, take action and transform their lives. You have just differentiated yourself from every other presentation that they have ever heard, and if they're ready to work with somebody, they will hire you. Easy. Done. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed this session. If you want to join me, again, in the Idea Personal Training Institute, it's me and a whole bunch of other really great presenters in the industry, some of the best presenters in the industry. Mary will put the link next to this video or in this video somewhere with our code to save $20 on the enrollment. If you're looking for more anatomy and you really want to own anatomy and help your clients with chronic rotator cuff issues, and they'll also help clients with chronic neck issues because neck and rotator cuff are tied together, Mary will put the link for that as well. 6 hours of content. It's a great way, fun way to learn anatomy, and more important, apply anatomy so that you stand out. And finally, go out there, get your message out there. You're not the right person for everyone. Charge what you're worth and attract those individuals that need, want, and will pay you for your expertise. Thank you for being on. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your day. Make it a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. This is Dr. Evan Osar with Integrative Movement Insider. Happy Monday. Make it a great day.